useful to everyone except yourself. I want you just to think about that for a second. Like, sit in those words. Every system you've moved through, your job, your family, your community, your church, your social media platform, the algorithm that needs your content, every single one of them has gotten the best of you. It gets your best hours, your best energy, your best ideas, your most creative thinking, your present version. And then the shit you're actually made for, your calling, the message, the work that was always supposed to exist in the world with your name on it, that's been getting what's left. That's the scraps. It's getting the someday. Someday I'll get to it when everything else is handled. Uh, yeah, listen, bitch. Here's what I need you to understand. It's not even about being lazy or undisciplined. You're just being very useful, extremely useful, just not to yourself and not to the God-given calling placed on your life, not to the people who were supposed to receive what you were supposed to build. You've been a useful fucking idiot to every system around you, and the systems have been thrilled about it. And I just want to say with love that today, that shit's going to change. You guys, welcome to the Listen Bitch podcast. I'm Brandon Lynette, the Voice Authority podcast coach. Your mess is your message. And today I'm fired up because, we're coming to a close on rebellion season. This is amazing. I love this. And we've talked about everything, fear, identity, systems, wounds, limiting beliefs, like all of it. And it's all been amazing. And this is the truth that I can't stop thinking about. I'm like, how would I want to close this? Because what did I start the rebellion for? Because I'm watching everybody just lose their minds and forget what it is to get back to like taking massive responsibility for yourself. Get your house in order. And in order to do that, you need to get your shit together. And what do I realize? Like the world needed you to be useful to it. And it's trained you very well. And you've been delivering your doom scroll, babe, your outrage, your little keyboard comments, your whatever. And the thing that was always supposed to be yours, it's still waiting. I feel like it's been very patient. Your calling's been very patient. But I'd say it's time. You guys know that today is brought to you by Super Patch. Should I'll just pull it out of the drawer. I want to talk about victory today. Let's see if we have victory in this mess of patches, you guys. And if you're just listening to this, I'm literally just scrolling through like a handful of patches, but I do have everything here readily available at any time because this episode is about stepping into the full capacity of what you were made for. Victory is my performance patch, you guys. This is enhanced athletic performance. Not to name drop, but we have, I don't know if it's 5 or 7 NFL teams that use this. We have soccer stars, we have basketball players, we have weight competitive weightlifters, bodybuilders. We've not to name drop, okay, but we're out there, baby. You're getting more strength, more balance, enhanced stamina, enhanced neural function. Your body and your brain are operating at the level that your calling is required. You can't be depleted with this. And it's not compensating. It is full. This is drug free, made in the motherfucking USA, and it's a big fuck you to big pharma. Like that was the form that the guy who created this, the guy who invented this, that's his mission. Fuck you, big pharma. Okay. They've been trying to buy him out. Millions, billions, and he throws up middle fingers every single time, and I'm obsessed. Like he is an incredible power movement for natural healing. Okay. This is just vibrotactile technology working directly through your nervous system. If you guys are local, if you ever run into me, you can ask me, like, Brandon, do the fucking test. Do the balance test on me. And I have a patch where it will blow your mind. It blows everybody's mind, and I love it. It's super exciting just to show you how fast they work and what it does immediately for your body. It is like Braille for your brain. Um, Check my show notes. That's where it's at. Okay. But listen, um, okay. Nobody made you a useful idiot on purpose. And that's what makes this situation and this setup on your life so effective. The school system didn't sit in a room and say, let's make sure this person spends their life serving our institutional needs. Maybe it didn't start like that. Now that I say that out loud, I'm thinking, man, maybe they really do that. But listen, it just built a system that rewarded compliance, right? And it penalized deviation, and it runs you through it for what, 16 years? And you come out on the other side very good at doing what the system needed and slightly disconnected from you what you actually came here to do. Your employer, I will say this, they're not just back there conspiring against your calling. They're not like, ooh, God put a big calling on Pam and we're going to fuck her shit up. So let's keep her distracted. Let's give her a lot of work. No, it's they just offered you a salary and a role and a clear definition of what useful looked like within their context. And so your brain, which is extraordinarily great at adapting to the environment it's in, your brain adapted. You got good at being useful in that context. You got recognized for it. You're employee of the month, babe. You got a raise, you got promoted maybe. And the thing that you're actually here to do gets further and further from the daily reality of your life. Your family, I'll just say it, they didn't mean to install a ceiling. They just had expectations built from their own experience of what a good and successful life looks like. And those expectations got inside you before you're old enough to question whether they were yours. What I will say, the algorithm, motherfuckers, they absolutely did this on purpose. The algorithm needs your content. It needs you to produce for its platform in the format its machine can distribute. And it rewards the people who comply and it suppresses the people who do not. Where are my Facebook jailbirds at? My TikTok jailbirds. We're here. But it does this consistently for a platform that owns nothing about what you make. None of these systems are necessarily evil. Some of them are, but the result is the same regardless of the intention. You have been useful to them. And the version of you that was supposed to come here, that God sent for this human experience to step into your potential, you're supposed to show it fully in the world. You know, the version of you that has that calling all inside of you. This stuff is all inside of you. And you have that message and that specific thing only you can give. That version just gets the remainder. And your brain does this thing when you keep your calling at arm's length. The prefrontal cortex, this is the part of the brain responsible for future planning. It's responsible for like your creative thinking and the ability to connect to your current behavior to your long-term vision. It requires active engagement to stay sharp. So when you consistently redirect your best cognitive energy toward other people's shit, other people's priorities, the neural pathways for your own vision get used less. They don't disappear, but babe, they get quieter. They're less automatic. They're less available. And then your nervous system carries the weight of the deferred shit in a way that is real and it's physical. And you know that feeling because there's that restlessness and you never have an explanation for it. That Sunday night wait. That's not even just really about Monday morning. It's just the fatigue, not even just about how much sleep you got. Your nervous system is running a background program called This Is Not the Life. This is not your calling. It does that. It runs that program and it's draining you and it's constant and it's quiet. Drains the battery even when nothing dramatic is happening around you. And your nervous system is communicating through the sensation, right? The tight chest, the flatness, that little part of you that comes alive on rare occasions when you're doing the actual thing you're supposed to be doing. The conversations maybe where you are fully yourself, the moment of creative flow, the interaction where you can feel that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and the equally specific deadness that appears everywhere else in your life. Your body already knows. Your body keeps the score. In fact, your body has known for a long time. It's just time for your brain to catch up. The nervous system's been sending the signals, and the question is whether or not you've been listening. The gift that we were given with neuroplasticity, it means the pathways for the calling can be reactivated. The prefrontal cortex re-engages when you give it the vision to work on. Your nervous system will recalibrate when you give it the evidence that the active life is being built. But it requires the input, the reps, the practice. It requires you to stop giving your best hours to everyone else's vision and start putting them into yours. And I want to be honest, the reactivation doesn't happen in thinking about it. You can't just think your way through this, or what does everybody say? Manifest. You can't just manifest. It happens in the doing. 1 hour given to the calling. What does that mean? I don't know. One episode recorded, one true post put up on Substack. The brain and the nervous system respond to what actually happens, not what your intentions are for someday. Imagine you have a plot of land. It's good land. You've got that good soil. It's rich soil. Everything you would need to grow something extraordinary is right there in front of you. And the conditions are perfection. I mean, they're quite good, actually, quite good. And every morning you wake up and you go to work someone else's fields. Not because you're forced to, but because they asked and you said yes. Then they ask again and you say yes again. And now it's been so long that going to their field in the morning just feels like what you do. It's become the pattern. It's the automatic thing. You barely even notice anymore that you have your own land sitting right there. Your land is still there. The soil is still good. Nothing's been ruined, but nothing has been planted either. Every season that passes without planting is a season without a harvest. And the people who were supposed to eat from your harvest, who could have only gotten what they needed from your land, your soil, your particular seeds, they've been going without it. You've been farming someone else's field. You have a plot of land with your name on it and it's not been touched. Bitch, go plant something. Go do this. The corporate structure needs you useful to it because your usefulness is its product. You're not building equity in someone else's company. You're building their equity. Your creativity, your problem solving, your relational intelligence, your years of accumulated expertise, all of it goes into producing value for a structure that you do not own, does not belong to you, and it never will. I'm not saying that's a reason to burn it all down tomorrow. Okay? There's a method to this, but that is a reason to understand the transaction you're in. You're trading time and energy and potential for income and security. The trade can make sense, but it should be a conscious choice, not a default that happened because nobody ever asked you whether or not this is what you wanted. Big tech needs you useful to it because your content is its product. When you produce for the algorithm, you're not building an audience that belongs to you. You're building engagement for a platform that owns the distribution. How many times have you seen people lose their shit? Like your platform's gone. The relationship between your content and your audience, it runs through their infrastructure. They can change the algorithm tomorrow. They can suppress your reach. They can put you in, in Facebook jail. Oh my God, the times they have demonetized me, okay? They can ban you. Everything you built on their platform is built on rented land. You don't own it. You don't own shit. That's why I'm obsessed with podcasting. It's different. The episode that you record goes into a feed that your listener subscribes to directly. The relationship between my voice and my listener does not require anyone's fucking permission to exist. That's why podcasting matters. That's why the podcast is the one thing worth building with your real energy. Systems don't want you to figure that out. A person who's built something that belongs to them is a person who's no longer dependent on the system's infrastructure. And dependence is what makes you manageable. Build the thing that is yours on land that belongs to you. Podcast. I've done over 100 interviews and coaching people and building frameworks and showing up every week. And for part of this time, um, there's a space that I've done it quietly, knowing that the version of myself I was presenting was kind of still a managed part of that. Like there's still parts of me that I can recognize in that space that I'm playing a little smaller than who I'm actually meant to be. That I still find myself there's places where I'm still holding back the very fire that's mine because I keep questioning if the room is ready for it. And so part of me like telling you that you're being a useful idiot, I'm the same way. I'm still useful, very useful, just not fully myself. And I know the truth. The day it stops being managed, the day I record an episode where I say what I actually think without softening it, especially on my political podcast, I still catch myself um, because they're planted voices that made me sound like I was too much. Even current people planting seeds in my head. Ah. Um, so I soften it. I soften it without, checking whether it would be too much. There's going to be something that actually shifts in this response. Um, I feel like the quality will change. And I know a lot of people have recognized, like, wow, your voice has really changed in the past few months. It has. I have found my voice, but I still catch myself on specific things where I tiptoe. And I try to tell myself, like, I don't care what people think. I've been called the worst names. I've been told to go kill myself. I've been threatened and all of these things. Does it get worse than that? Is the thing. Um, and I do feel like that if I really want that deeper connection, I have to cross that bridge and stop hesitating and be able to unleash the true fire and the true passion of my core ethics and my core beliefs. I know that people are going to respond in such a beautiful way more than the version that I've kind of tiptoed on. And I know some of you are like, bitch, I know you have not, you're not saying you've tiptoed. Trust me. Like I really genuinely have. I know you think I'm abrasive and say the things and people tell me all the time like it's refreshing that you speak the truth. I do, but I still find myself softening it because what I would say to my husband is very different than what I say to the world. Very different. Um I spoke to one of the men that I interviewed on my show. He spent 15 years being the most valuable person in every room he walked in. Genuinely smart, capable, like the person everyone turns to when something hard needs solved. And he had zero to show for it personally. Nothing he'd built for himself, nothing that belonged to him. Um, he's up there in the corporate, all of that capacity deployed entirely in service of other people's visions. And he told me the moment he realized it is when his kid is talking to him about what he does. And his answer isn't fun to say. I'm building a Fortune 500 company for someone else. He didn't have something of his own. He's only been helping people build their things. And so that right there, he wanted to have something that was his, that he knew was his, had his name on it, not just be a great employee, not just, go for someone else's accolades and the outside structure. So he started his podcast shortly after the conversation, but he put that 15 years of expertise to work on something that was his. And he said for the first time, getting to hear that first time the listener said that he changed something for them, that the first time that he really got to acknowledge that what he built did something for someone, he understood really what it felt like at that moment to be useful for the right thing. 15 years of being exhausted, frustrated, missing his family. I mean, the list goes on. And his conversation, I wish if you listen to the show, if you listen to my interview show, you were like, man, which guy is she talking about? Because it sounds like all of them working, in the corporate routine for someone else and finally unplugging and realizing, like, what is important to me? What can I build that's mine? What can I do that's going to make me happy? That's it. He finally is in this version of his actual life. What would 6 months of being useful to your own calling feel like for you? There is a parable about a father who had the two sons. He went to the first and he said, go work in the vineyard today. And the son said, I will not. But afterward, he changed his mind and then he went. And the father went to the second son and said the same thing. The second son said, sure, I will go. And then he didn't go. And then Jesus asked which one of the two did the will of his father. The first, obviously. The point of the parable is not about obedience as performance. It is about what you actually do versus what you will say you will do. The son who said no and went anyway to do the thing. The son who said yes and then didn't go. All the intention in the world, no actual work in the vineyard. You have been the second son for far too long. You've been saying yes to the calling in your head, in your notes app, in the conversations at dinner, in the plans you've made and remade and refined. You keep saying yes, and then you're not actually going to the vineyard, and the vineyard's waiting. The Father asks you to go work in it, not someday, but actually today. Not when you feel ready, now. Not the managed version, the real version. Go work in the vineyard. This week, I need you to do one thing that is useful to your calling, not to your employer, not to the algorithm, not to anyone else's vision, just 1 hour given completely to the thing that is yours. Not planning it, not researching it, not outlining the outline, the actual thing, the episode recorded, the offer written, the true sentence of the content that's been sitting in your head. One real hour of work on the thing that belongs to you. And while you're doing it, notice what happens in your body, your nervous system response to actually working on your own thing after years of working on everyone else's. It's going to feel different. And that feeling is data. That's your body recognizing that something real is happening. So file it and then come back to it and use it as evidence that this is the right field to be working in. Better today than yesterday means today you gave 1 hour to the calling. Better tomorrow than today means tomorrow you give it another one. The world got a great deal out of you. It got your compliance and your competence and your creativity and your best hours, your most generative years. It got all of that. And it's not going to apologize for taking it because systems don't apologize. Systems just take what's available. You made yourself available. That's on you, but it's also fixable. The calling is still there. The land is still yours. The soil is still good. Nothing's been ruined, but the harvest that was supposed to come from your specific plot, the one only your seeds and your soil could produce, the harvest that has not happened yet, and the people who were supposed to eat from it have been going without. It pisses me off. And maybe it's not just all your fault, but like, just what a fucking waste. At the 15 years of valuable capacity deployed entirely for someone else's vision, that pisses me off. At the notes app full of the thing that's supposed to exist, at the Sunday night wait that's been in your body's way of telling you for years that something important is not being built. It's time to be useful to yourself. It's time to be useful to your calling and to the people who need the thing that only your land can grow. I would love for you to come work with me. You guys check the show notes. Tell me what your vineyard looks like. Tell me what you've been farming instead of the vineyard. Tell me why you're the one who was supposed to build this. The land is yours. Go work your fucking land.